Hey students, welcome to our Year 6, Chapter 2, topic Fractions, Decimals and Percentages, Solving Mixed Operations. Let's look at our first question. 3 plus 4.8 minus 2 over 5. When you look at this question, you can see that one part of it is a number, adding with a decimal and subtracting with a fraction. So I'm going to show you how to solve this question using the decimal method. When we say decimal method, it means we are going to use only decimals to do the addition or the subtraction. In this case, 3 is a whole number, 4.8 is a decimal, 2 over 5 is a fraction. Thus, it has to be changed into a decimal. Now, what is 2 over 5 as a decimal? Well, you can make 2 over 5 into a denominator with over 10. So 5 times 2 becomes 10. What you do at the bottom, you also do at the top. 2 times 2 becomes 4. Now you see 4 over 10, and that's an equivalent fraction to 2 over 5. 4 over 10 is the same as 0.4. That's how you can change a fraction into a decimal. Another way to change a fraction into a decimal is to simply divide. In other words, fraction is a division. So 2 over 5 means 2 divided by 5. So you can do your long division. 2 divided by 5. Start 0. 0 times 5, 0. 2 minus 0, 2. Put in your decimal. Put in a 0. Bring down your 0. Now 20 divided by 5, it's 4. And that's it. 0.4 is the answer. Now we go back to our question and rewrite the whole sentence again. 3 plus 4.8 minus 0.4. So what do we get? Of course, we can do this mentally. This is 3.0. So 3.0 plus 4.8. 0 plus 8, it's 0.8. 3 plus 4 is 7. And minus 0.4. Now, if you're not sure about doing this, then please go ahead and use the standard written method. 7.8 minus 0.4. The earlier part would be 3.0 plus 4.8. And that would give you 7.8. Now 7.8 minus 0.4, that would give you 7.4. This is how you can solve this question using a decimal method. Let's look at another method called the fractions method, which means if you're a second, pause the video. In the event you'll need to copy this down, clear the drawing. Now, if the same question has to be solved using a decimal method, using a fractions method, then you have 3. We have 2 over 5 is not a problem, but we have to change 4.8. So 4.8 is made up of 4 plus 0.8. What is 0.8 as a decimal? It is 8 over 10. Okay, so your 4 becomes a mixed number. So 4.8 is 4, 8 over 10. Okay, so now you can rewrite the sentence 3 plus 4, 8 over 10 minus, now look carefully here, this is 2 over 5. And if you want to minus 2 over 5, you have to make the denominator the same. In other words, it would be good for us to just change this to 10 by multiplying 2 on top and at the bottom so that we get the same denominator. So this becomes 4. So now you have 3 plus 4, so that will give you 7, 8 over 10 minus 4 over 10. Look at the fractions part. 8 can easily minus 4 now because the denominator is same, and that would yield you the answer. Don't forget your 7 and then 4 over 10, which is similar to our previous answer, which is 7.4 as a decimal. So over here, you can choose which method you would like to use to solve this question. Moving ahead, let's go on to question 2. 9.27 minus 2, 1 over 4 plus 5. We're going to use the decimals method to solve this. So 9.27, not a problem. 5, not a problem. We'll have to change to 1 over 4. So if you're not sure what is 1 over 4 as a fraction, you can take 1 and divide by 4, or you can also change 1 over 4 to become over 100 by multiplying 25. You must know your times table 25, 25, 50, 75, 100. So 1 also times with 25 will give you 25. And 25 over 100, it's 0.25. So now we'll rewrite the question, 9.27 minus 2, don't forget the 2, and now the 1 over 4 is 0.25, so it's 2.25, and add with a 5. That's it. Now you can solve this question using your standard written method. 9.27 minus 2.25, 7 minus 5, 2, 2 minus 2, 0, 9 minus 2, 7. And it will become, and then of course add your 5. This is 5 at the ones house, so 5.00 of course. And that will give you 2 plus 0, 2, 0 plus 0, 0, and 7 plus 5, 12. Your answer would be 12.02. Okay, done. Let's move on to question 3. But now here we have 8.5 minus 6 plus 1.07. First of all, guys, look carefully that the 3 questions that we have done so far all involves addition and subtraction. But at this point, we have something called a bracket. So over here, if you remember your BODMAS, your mixed operations, what is in the bracket has to be solved first. Now, of course, we can also change this to a decimal question. Now, this will make the question become 8.5. It's easy because it's 8.5. Okay, 1 over 2, it's 0.5. Of course, if I really want to do it, it becomes 5 over 10. 1 over 2, it's 5 over 10 times 5 times 5. Okay, and so 5 over 10 is 0.5. Minus, you'll have to find the answer for 6 plus 1.07. Literally, 6 is in the ones house. So if you add the 6 to 1.07, you're going to get 7.07. At this point, you don't need the bracket anymore. So we can do away with the bracket and now do the subtraction. So let's look at the standard written method. 8.5 minus 7.07. Please do not make the mistake of writing the answer 7 here because there is a hidden 0, an invisible 0. So literally it's 0 minus 7, and that's not going to give you 7. The answer is going to be borrowed, regrouped. This will become 4. And here 10. 10 minus 7, 3. 4 minus 0, 4. 8 minus 7, 1. So your answer is going to be 1.43. Okay, remember, do the bracket first, rewrite the sentence 8.5 minus 7.07, and then work out the standard return method and get your answer. We are solving this using decimal method, obviously for reasons that it is easier. Okay, let's clear this. And what if you really wanted to solve this using a fractions method? Not a problem. So we retain 8.5 as a fraction and minus. So what is 6 plus 1.07? So it's going to be 6 plus 1, 7 over 100. Okay, this is how it's going to be. Now, 6 plus 1 will be 7. Okay, and then this is 7 over 100. Now, our denominator is 100, right? So, which means the 2 also has to become over 100. And how does 2 become 100? Times 50, right? So, what you do at the bottom, you also do at the top, times 50. So, now you'll have 50 over 100 minus, and don't forget your 8 here. It's 8, 50 over 100 minus 7, 7 over 100. Since the denominator is the same, we can just do the subtraction for the numerator. So 8 minus 7, it's 1. 50 minus 7, it's 43 over 100. So this is your answer as a fraction. As decimal is 1.43. Okay, done. Let's clear this and move on to question number 4. Here we have 30 plus 9.5 minus 6, 1 over 10. Change everything to a decimal number. So when we write this, this is going to be 30 plus, so rewrite 9.5. 9.5 is already in decimal, but rewrite 6, 1 over 10. Of course, 1 over 10, by now you should know this is 0.1. Okay, so over there you have a 6, so this is 6.1. That's it. All right, now we have a bracket here. So we definitely have to solve what's inside the bracket first. So do your standard written method at the side. 9.5 minus 6.1. And that's going to give you 4 here and 3 here, 3.4. End of the day, you're going to come back to your question and write now 30 plus 3.4. So continue with your standard written method here at the side, plus with 30. Remember 30 is a whole number, so it's 30.0. So that will give you 4 here, 3 and 3, totals 33.4. This is how you solve a mixed operation question on fractions and decimals. Okay, moving on to question number 5. 15.6 plus 8, 1 over 8 minus 4. To solve this using decimal method, you must solve for 1 over 8 as a decimal. Now, if you don't know, you do a division 1 divided by 8. So you'll have 0. Okay, add in a 0, add in the decimal, minus 1 minus 0, it's 1. Bring in a 0, bring down the 0. 10 divided by 8 is 1. This is 1 times 8, 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Add in another 0, bring down the 0. Now you'll have 2. 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, 20 minus 16 is 4. Add another 0, bring down the 0. 40 minus 8 is 5, and that's it. No more remainder because this one will be 40 and you'll have 0 remainder. So your answer, 1 over 8 is 0.125. Rewrite this sentence again. 15.6 plus 8.125 minus 4. So now all you need to do is solve it in standard written method. So let's take 15.6 plus 8.125. Of course, there is a 0 here, 0 here. That gives us here 5, here 2, 7. And then 8 plus 5 would be 13. 3, carry out 1, you'll have 23.725. And minus with 4.000. So that will give us here again 5 to 7 point. Then over here 3 minus 4, you have to put 23 minus 4 will give you 19. So your answer here, final answer is 19.725. Of course, in your workbook, you will have to show your standard written method. This part, if you know, you can omit. If you already know that 1 over 8 is 0.125, then you don't have to show this. You can straight away transfer and write it correctly. But this part, this is called the number sentence. Okay? The number sentence, and this is your standard written method. How are you doing it? Okay, some questions may be easy, but some questions may require to write it out. Then, of course, write back your answer over here. Do this separately and neatly so that you can see the difference. Clear now? Let's move on to the next question, which is here. 23, 7 over 10 minus 8.7 plus 5. So rewriting this back again, this is 23. 7 over 10 is 0.7, so 23.7 minus 8.7 plus 5. All you need to do is work from left to right. So do straight away your 23.7 minus 8.7. 7 minus 7, 0. 23 minus 8, of course, it's 15. Okay? So if you don't know, just borrow, and then 13 minus 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, and then 1. Right? So 15. And don't forget, you can just continue. 15 plus with 5. So 5 is in the ones house. Remember, write it properly. You can put a 0 here. So literally, this is just 20.0, which is the same as 20. Done. Okay. Now, the questions that you have done so far involves addition and subtraction, mixed operations that's only involving addition and subtraction. The next part of your lesson moves on to multiplication and division. Yes, it gets a bit more challenging, but definitely doable. So let's now try this question. And for a change, I'm going to do both methods, but let's start with the decimals first. So if I want to change this to a decimal, then it's going to be 10 times with 2. Now, what is 3 over 5 as a decimal? Now, you can change 3 over 5 to become something over 10. That gives us an easy way to change it into a decimal, and that's 6 over 10. So 6 over 10 is 0.6, so it's 2.6. And then divide by 0.4. Rewrite your number sentence always again. So over here, start with the multiplication, then continue with the division. So what is 10 times 2.6? That's 26, just moving the decimal, okay? That becomes 10 times more. And then divide by 0.4. Now, if you have a decimal number to divide, then what we're going to do is move the decimal as well to make this a whole number. So, and over here, the decimal is after the 6, move it as well one place to the right. So now you're going to have, it's 260 divide by 4. Okay, and then you can work out the standard, the division, 260 divide by 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, this is 6 times. And you're going to get 24 here. Minus, we'll get a 2 and a 0. 20 divided by 4, it's 5. And then 20 and no remainder. So your answer here is 65. This is solving the question using the decimal method. Okay? Now, what if we solve this using fractions method? So, if it's fraction, this is already in fraction, 0.4 is the one that has to be changed into fraction. Your question rewrites as 10 times. Straight away change this to an improper fraction. by multiplying and adding. So 5 times 2, 10, 10 plus 3, 13 over 5. Don't forget this is 10 over 1. And divide by 0.4, which is 4 over 10. Keep the division first because you have got to do the multiplication here first. So when you want to multiply, you can simplify first. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So now up times up, which is 2 times 13, you're going to get 26 over down times down, which is 1 times 1. Write your 1. And then, since this is continue with the question, this is a division, you change this to a multiplication and you flip this, okay, inverse it. 4 over 10 becomes 10 over 4. So now your answer becomes, you can of course simplify it. Okay, here you can simplify it by simplifying 10 and 4. So this is 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 10 divided by 5 is 2. You can also simplify 26 and 2. 2 divided by 2 it's 1, 26 divided by 2 it's 13. So all you have to do is now up times up, which is 13 times 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So literally your answer is just 13 times 5, and that is 65. So this is, I'm showing you an example how to solve it using both methods. This is the method using fractions. Hope you are clear, and let's look at the second question. Here we have 3 over 4 times 1.2 divided by 3. I'm going to use the decimal method. Okay, so 3 over 4, it's 0.75 times 1.2 divided by 3. So first we do the multiplication. Now, a decimal number multiplication is just the same like a normal number, except for the fact that you need to add the decimal at the end. So in order to make our lives easier, let's just draw the, you can solve this using lattice, or you can solve this using standard written method, but I'm preferring lattice. So I'm going to just draw the lattice squares, okay? And it's going to be 75 times 12. That's how it's going to look, okay? And so then we draw your diagonal lines, extend it a little out further. And here you go. And put in your numbers now. So I'm going to have here 0.75 is just 75. Multiplied by 1.2, it's 12. Okay, imagine, take it as a whole number. Now 5 times 1, answer 5. 5 times 2, answer 10. 7 times 1, answer 7. 7 times 2, answer 14. Now total up all the numbers. So over here it's 0. Here 5 plus 1 plus 4, it's 10. So 0 carry up 1 to the next house. 7 plus 1 plus 1, it's 9. So look here carefully. It becomes 900. Put in the digits, but this time you need to move your decimals back. So 1 place, 2 place, 3 place values. So from the 0, move back 1, 2, and 3, which means you put your decimal here, this becomes 0.9 divided by 3. And that is something you can do mentally. 0.9 divided by 3, it's 0.3. Now, assuming you would like to solve this question using the fractions method, then it's going to be looking like this. You'll have to change 1.2 to become a fraction. So this will become 3 over 4, okay, times with, of course, 0.2, it's 2 over 10, okay. 2 over 10, there is a whole 1 here. Now, straight away change this to an improper fraction. So 10 plus 2, you're going to get 12 over 10. Okay, so this 1.2 becomes 12 over 10. And then divide by 3 over 1. Let's do this later. Okay, first we'll do this part. So, of course, simplify. Okay, here we can have 4 Okay, divide by 4, it's 1. 12 divided by 4, it's 3. So now up times up, 3 times 3, you're going to get 9 over 1 times 10, you're going to get 10. But don't forget, your question is not finished yet. You've got to do this part now. So times with division, change to a multiplication. 3 over 1 becomes 1 over 3. And that gives you up times up. Oh yeah, you can simplify first. So 1, and this is 3. So this gives you 3 over 10, which is of course the same as 0.3. Okay, same answer, different methods. You can choose which method you prefer. Clear the drawing? Let's move on to question 3. 15.6 divide by 1 over 2 times by 8. So I'm going to do this using decimal method. So 15.6 divide by 0.5 times with 8. So I'm going to shift my decimal point of 0.5 to make it a whole number 5, and thus this will also shift one place to the right. So now I'm going to have 156 divided by 5, which you'll have to do. Okay, so when I rewrite my question, this is going to be 156 divided by 5 multiplied by 8. Solve this now. 156 divided by 5, here it's 3. 15 minus, you have 0, bring down the 6. 6 divided by 5 is 1. Over here 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Of course, put in your decimal now, because you really want to solve it. This is 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So your answer here is 31.2. And then, of course, you've got to times 8. So let's do just standard written method. 31.2 multiplied by 8. Okay, so standard written method, this one place value, you immediately put that one place value there. So 8 times 2, 16, carry up 1. 8 times 1, 8. 8 plus 1 will be 9. And 8 times 3, it's going to give you 8, 16, 24. So your answer here is 249.6. Done. Clear? So first thing is change this to a decimal. Move the decimal point to make it a whole number. Do the division and then do the multiplication. If you can see, I've clearly done the working and the method separately. Okay, don't mix it up. Make your work as organized as possible. Clear? Let's move on to question number 4. Over here, we have a bracket. So when you see a bracket, it takes importance, as in like you have to do what's inside the bracket first. Always solve for whatever is inside the bracket. So here you rewrite your question. 72 divide by, of course, I'm going to use maybe fractions to solve this. Okay, so what is 9.6? So this is going to be 9, 6 over 10 multiplied by 3 over 8. Okay, so again, you can change this to an improper fraction. So 10 times 9 plus 6, you can straight away write it as 96 times 96 over 10 times 3 over 8. So over here, what I'm going to do here is simplify first before doing. Okay, simplify before doing. So how do I simplify? I know times table 8, that 96 exists in times table 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. 96 divided by 8 is 12. See that? 8 times 10 is 80, 88, 96. And then 12 and 10 also can divide. So this becomes 5 divided by 2, and this becomes 6. So now if you rewrite your question, it's going to be 72 over 1 divide by 6 times 3. This is going to give you 18 over 5 times 1, 5. Of course, change this to become 72 over 1 times 5 over 18. Simplify again. Okay, I'm going to divide by 6 this time. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. 72 divided by 6, it's 12. Times table 6, 10 times 6 is 60, 66, 72. But again, this can further be divided into 4. 12 divided by 3, it's 4. 3 divided by 3, it's 1. So your answer is going to be 4 times 5, up times up, 20 over 1, which is just 20. Done. Sometimes the fractions method can be easier. If you want to solve it as in use decimal, it's also possible. Change 3 over 8 to a decimal number, which is like 0.1 over 8 is 0.125. We know that. Okay, so 3 over 8 means times 3. And that's going to give you 15, 6, 7, and this is 3. So it's 0.375. So 9.6 times 0.375. You move the decimal, okay? I mean, you just multiply and then count in all the decimal place values and then take 72 and divide by that number. But I think it's going to be quite a challenge doing this in the decimal method. So yeah, stick with the fractions. Stick with what's easier. Okay, clear? And let's move on to the next question. 9.45 divide by 9 times 1 over 6. Now over here, which method should I choose? If I'm going to use the decimal method, guys, if you know, you can play around with your calculator. Anything divided by 6, it's going to be a repetitive number. It's going to get, the decimal will not be a 2-digit or a 3-digit to keep on repeating. So at this point, it will be a wiser idea to just solve it using fractions. So I'm going to have here 9. Or you can also do this. You can solve this part using decimals. Not a problem. Yeah, that's easy because 9.45 divided by 9, that can easily be solved using the decimal method. And then when you want to times 1 or 1 over 6, you can use the fractions method. So let's do this. 1, this is 0. Okay, and then, sorry, this is 9. Sorry. So this is 1 times 9, 9. 9 minus 9, 0. Bring down your 4. 4 divided by 9, I don't have anything. So I must put a 0. 0 times 9, 0. 4 remainder. Bring down the 5. Here, 45. 45 divided by 9, it's 5. So now my answer for this part is 1.05 times with, okay, change this to an improper fraction, 7 over 6. Of course, 1.05 also now you can change to an improper fraction. 1.05 is 1, 5 over 100. You see that? Okay, when you change 1.05, it becomes 1, 5 over 100. And you can also change this to a mixed number. Okay, and then you will get 105 over 100 times 7 over 6. All right. Now I'm going to simplify where possible. Okay, so I'm going to simplify 105 and 6 because I know that it can be divided. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 3. 6 divided by 3, it's 2. 105 divided by 3, just to make my number a bit smaller. If you don't want, you can do the standard written method here. 105 divided by 3. That gives you 3 here and here 9. 10 minus 1 is 10 minus 9 is 1. Bring down your 5. So this is 35. Okay. So I'll get here 35. Now I will do 35 times 7 over 100 times 2. 100 times 2, it's 200. Okay. 35 times 7. We'll have to work it out. So 35 multiplied by 7. Okay. 5 times 7 is 35. 3 times 7 is 21, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this is 245 over 200. And then you can take out one whole from this, and this will be left with 45 over 200. Okay, and then divide this with 5. So you're going to have 45 divided by 5 is 9. 200 divided by 5 is 20. Sorry. 200 divided by 5. It's not 20, yeah? Okay, this is 4. This is 40. And that's your answer. Okay? 9 over 40. This is your method. All this part is your method. This is your calculations on what's on the right. Clear now? Let's move on to the last question that we have, which is 10 5 over 8 times 60 divided by 0.75. All right. So if I want to solve this using decimals, then I'll have to move my decimal 2 places to the right, and 60 also move the decimal 2 places to the right. I have to do what's in the bracket first, guys. So I'm going to get here 6,000, okay, divide by 75. Of course, I'm writing it as a fraction because a fraction is a division. Now I'm going to actually make this simple first by dividing with 5. So when I divide 6,000 with 5, 60 divided by 5, it's 12, and then put in 2 zeros. So this is 1,002. 75 divided by 5, it's going to be 15. Okay, I can also now still further divide by 5, simplify it. So this is going to be 15 divided by 5 is going to give me 3. 120 divide by, 1,200 divide by 5. If you can't do it mentally, you do it, you write it out. So this is 2, this is 10. Okay, and then bring down your 2 with a 0. This will be 4. So your answer is 240. Okay, and actually 240 can also divide by 3, and that's going to be 80. So literally you can just get 80 from here. Okay, so now you're left with 10 5 over 8 multiplied by 80 over 1. So of course, change this times and plus. So 10 times 8 is 80. 80 plus 5 is 85. So you can write this back as 85 over 8 times 80 over 1. Then you can simplify. This is divide each of. This is 1, this is 10. So your answer is 85 times 10, which is 850 over 1 times 1. So that's 1. So this is your answer. This is how you solve these questions using mixed operations. The first 6 questions were addition and subtraction. The next 6 questions were multiplication and division. Thank you very much. Hope you understood. Make sure you show your working and your methods clearly. Thank you. Bye.